Mm. Hey y'all, it is January the 8th, 2018. And y'all, I just woke up and basically dived back into the Katelyn Nicole Davis thing immediately. Sometimes I just can't help it, and I know that all y'all out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so I woke up with Katelyn on my mind and stuff. Alright, I was looking over some of the videos that a lot of people put out concerning Katelyn Nicole Davis and the whole anniversary of this unfortunate situation. I want to say this before I start off. A lot of people have been saying that the things that I've been doing are good, right? And they appreciate them. And of course, what I'm just putting out here is just me and saying some words. All right. And they've told me that they appreciate it, and that's good. And I appreciate them. I appreciate those people, because in essence, it's who I do it for. But I would like to also say about these videos and these compilations, these simple slideshows with information and stuff that people be putting out there. I have to tell y'all that, in many ways, I feel like you're doing a much, much better job than I am. You inspired me to do a better job, because a lot of times I can't even keep up. These videos are not only very deep, but a lot of times they're very detailed and insightful and stuff. And they'll teach me things that a year later, I still don't even know. My brain kind of works in weird ways in which I kind of zero in on certain people, and then it'll jump from person to person, and I'll start breaking them down. But at the same time, a lot of people fly under the radar for me. A lot of times I have trouble with names and stuff like this and keeping them straight. And who is that and who's this? Like, for example, I just learned this morning about Katelyn's best friend, and I forget what's her name, that moved away, and I think that was very crucial. And honestly, I don't know what her friend Lizzie is doing these days, but I'm sure she knows all about this, and I'm sure she's grieving just like everybody else. All right. Anyways, I did want to. But I wanted to start off the video just acknowledging everybody out there for their great work. The thing is, it is great work, and the thing is, it is going to pay off. In the end, it is going to equal justice. In fact, it already is equaling justice. All right. But with that being said, I want to talk about something that, would be the main topic of this video. And it's something that I've spoke about before. But, it seems more and more crucial to actually share this information that I've talked about before. But, I know it's hard to find all these videos. I put out so many videos, and it's really hard to find, to go through all of them. So I want to reiterate. A lot of people look at the pictures of Katelyn Nicole Davis, and there's many various pictures, some where she's happy and some where she's not so happy. Certainly some where she's smiling, and there's certain pictures where she's not so much smiling. And I want to bring up the fact that in general, people tend to look at suicide victims after the fact, and they look at their pictures and they say, this person was so happy. They looked so happy. This person looked so happy. How did this happen? And a lot of people get very confused, and I don't blame people for getting very confused. Why did this person look so happy in his pictures? You see all the pictures. You think, well, that person's smiling. Look at their big smile. Who would have ever seen this coming? All right. The reason I bring that up is because that in and of itself is a bad sign. Those are bad signs. All right. Those are red flags, if you will, to watch out for. However, we're not equipped to watch out for them these days. Let me explain that smiling in pictures is something that we don't think about these days. We're told to do it, and we do it without question. All right. All for the greater good, I guess, supposedly. All right. But just to speak briefly about it, there's a history behind smiling in pictures, and it's actually a kind of a new thing. When you consider the whole history of people drawing pictures of themselves, taking pictures, photography and stuff, it's been around for a while. People painting portraits, it's been around for a while. Smiling in pictures is a new thing. And I know, especially the children out here, a lot of people don't understand that. It hasn't been this way. It's never been this way. You look back at pictures, go on Google right now. Look back any pictures that are sort of old. You're not going to see nobody smiling. Not at all. All right. A lot of people look at these old-time pictures and they think, well, God, it looks like none of these people were happy. Actually, when you take time to really look into it, in many ways they were happier than we were, or are. They're happier. And yet and still they're not smiling. All right. Just to be very brief about it, and we can go into great detail. The reason that they're not smiling is because it's not natural. There's many aspects of our culture now, you understand, that are kind of backwards, kind of unnatural. And perhaps we think there's no consequence to this. There's absolute consequence to this. To include unfortunate deaths, to include all sort of social disorder. Are you seeing it all over the place? This stems from unnatural behavior. I'm not trying to vilify anybody for smiling in pictures. Trust me, you've been lied to. Me too. I've also been lied to. But it's something very sincere. You look back at pictures of George Washington. When was he smiling? You look back to, say, pictures in the Bible. When were they ever smiling? They were smiling sometimes. When was that? And smile. If you ever go to one of these churches and you see like those tinted windows with saints and stuff, how many of them are smiling? It's not natural. For example, if you're to take a baby or a small child, and I know that everybody's noticed this, try to take pictures of them, they won't be smiling. It's not natural. All right. The only reason small children ever even smile in pictures is because they've been taught to over and over and over repeatedly. They wouldn't do it naturally. All right. Case in point, all the pictures that exist before 50, 60, 70 years ago, people don't smile. The thing is, what I got to say is people smile in certain natural situations. Lots of times it's a very personal, intimate situation. All right. There's other times that people smile, like in the Bible. People do smile like after victory. I'm talking about after eliminating an enemy. They might smile, laugh, and carry on, but they also had to kill people. And that's when you caught them smiling. It's not natural how we smile. It's not natural. What it's been made to be is a distraction. Some sort of facade that we put on our faces when we take a picture. Why? Because we want people to think we were happy. Before we took the picture, were we smiling that way? Is this natural? Is anything of this natural? No, it isn't. It'll leave you to wonder And pictures of a person that you might miss, which pictures are they even really happy, becomes very hard to tell. Smiling is something that we do naturally, and so is laughing. In certain specific occasions, to include when things are very, very awkward, such as a Logan Paul the other day when he ran up on a guy hanging from a tree. He did start to laugh. That is natural. You laugh because you don't know what else to do. You'll start crying if you don't. All right. So that is a big, big problem. And the reason I share it is because I feel like this will save a lot of people. They run to smiling and they run to laughter because they're taught, well, you know, this is going to fix your depression. Just smile, just laugh. And guess what? Your depression, it will be fixed. This is what we're told. No, that's actually not the case. All right, that's a very dangerous, deadly mistake to make, actually, and it happens a lot. Have you heard of comedians committing suicide? Have you seen all sort of people who've done it, and you see pictures of them smiling? It's a very serious situation. Some for us to think about, because smiling and laughter will not lead you to peace and contentment in your heart. It will not. In fact, people begin to know later on in life that when they reach peace and contentment, when they reach the ecstasy in knowing who your God is and that you work for Him, when they reach the level of these saints, like I said, in these tinted windows, all right, their face gets overcome with so much joy and peace that it looks like nothing at all. And that's how we should be looking in our pictures. Very respectable. All right. There's many reasons why people used to not smile in pictures. One would be that either A, people would assume the person smiling in the picture is drunk. I mean, ass out drunk. Or they're plotting. People used to see people in pictures, and if they were smiling, well, they just assumed that that person was up to no good and plotting on them. Right? This is the natural way of things. You got to wonder about a person smiling when you're not smiling, and wonder what is this person thinking about? Nothing about it is natural, but we're taught that it is. And meanwhile, none of this smiling or laughing is going to save nobody. And it don't bring me no joy to say that. We're both deep in the tribulation. It is January the 8th, 2018, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.